There is a massive change which is taking place as we speak. It's something that has been going unnoticed for most of us, but which is truly, truly impactful for you, for myself, for everyone. And that is the fact that specialist knowledge is losing its value. Let me explain. All of us have grown up. I'm talking about my generation, the previous generation. All of these people have grown up by being taught that if you become really, really good, really knowledgeable about a certain discipline, a certain subject, then you will have an advantage. You will have an edge over other people, and you'll basically always have a job, right? So the system was built with that assumption in place. We all went to high school, middle school, high school, and then university to study a very, very specific subject, a very specific set of topics which were meant to make us specialists in that specific field. Now, this assumption that was there for the past 30, 40, 50 years has gone. And that is very clear, and it will become very clear to you if you use ChatGPT. Now, with the rise of AI, what has been happening is that the specialist knowledge that has so much value is now a commodity. Anyone can access at any time that very, very niche type of information which previously you had to study years and years to acquire. So at this point in time, that type of knowledge is gone. It's not or that type of edge is not a hedge anymore for you, for myself, for no one really. And if you look at the trend, this is just set to become worse and worse. Now, as AI progresses, we will see more and more fields being impacted by AI basically being more knowledgeable, or at least having a very, very strong core compared to 99% of the general population. So what is happening is that with this shift taking place, we have to adapt. Now, being able to use ChatGPT or any other such tool, right, large language model, LLMs, requires you having that input. If you think about it, the only way ChatGPT, as of today at least, works is by you asking questions or at least inputting certain specific information into it. So if you think about it, the only way for you to input information is for you to have at least a hunch, a very, I would say, a basic idea or awareness of a specific topic. So what's happened is that we're shifting from a situation where very specific, very niche knowledge is not valuable anymore, to instead having a very broad spectrum, very surface level knowledge being more valuable, because the reality is that you don't know what you don't know. So you will never be able to leverage AI to teach you something that you have no idea about, right? It's kind of counterintuitive, but having the most very basic, very surface level knowledge about topics will become more and more useful than 10, 15 years of domain expertise. Now, I would just like to give you two examples of how this works in practice. Like many other people, I do some investments, right? So part of the money that I save, I get to reinvest it into whatever financial instruments. Now, for you to be able to invest effectively, you have to do planning. So you must understand what are your goals, what kind of risk profile you have, etc., etc. Now, in the past, if you didn't have that technical knowledge or network, you would have to rely on insiders. Yeah, when I say insider, what I mean is professionals in the field. For example, financial planners will help you with setting up this portfolio, understanding your risk profile, and then actually going ahead with the investment. Now you can just use ChatGPT, Perplexity, anything like that to get a full-fledged 24/7, better than 99% of professionals, AI tool to do exactly the same. Another example, it's about coding. a lot of the work that people coding used to do, that's the grunt work of just writing lines of code almost for the sake of it, is being replaced by AI. You have a goal in mind, you feed that to the AI, the code gets generated for you. So this is what's happening. Now, should you be worried about the shift? I would say that there is two ways to look at it. One approach is that of building a little fortress, let's say, about what you have been doing all along and continue doing the same. I believe that this strategy has some merits. It's going to be working in the short term, but long term, that's not going to pay off for you, right? So that's one approach, which it's understandable, right? But the second approach, and the one that I would encourage you to think of, is that of opening up to this change and embracing the fact that while you may have spent many years to develop a very specific, very niche knowledge, now based on that information that you acquire, you may be able to explore different fields, different topics, and learn a lot more than you could have in the past. Ultimately, the capabilities of AIs are infinite for anyone, right? So if you embrace the change, well, that's, I would say, the highest return approach for you not to be left behind. This is a very important change. I would say a massive change. So let's see what the future holds for us. I still believe that going in with an open mind, learning as much as we can about these new tools, and ultimately using the tools to our advantage, right? And by keeping an open mind, will benefit everyone.